We are going to go live here very soon. All right, it looks like we got this thing going. All right. Let's see. Just in time for my 6-year-old to try to bang down the door. All right. Da. Hey, Marielle. Lauren. Thanks for all the love, you guys. It's really awesome. Let's see. We're gonna wait for Miss Lily Cowles to join in. Let's see. Hello, France. Hello, Emily, Jesse. Let's see. This is my first time hosting an Instagram live, so let's see what we got here. There we go. I think I found her. Hey.
What was that? Your first time what?
Go easy on me, please.
Is this your first Instagram live?
The first time that I've hosted it, so it's brand new. I'm trying to press all these buttons and calling the neighbors.
The pressure's all on you. I don't do anything. I just sit back and I just sit here and I drink my kombucha in peace.
Nice. Well done. Where are you?
I'm in my home right now. I moved back to this old house that I grew up in and my father grew up in. It was built in 1787, so it's like the ceilings are
Wow.
6 foot. I have to duck between the doors and it's all warped and full of ghosts and squirrels. And there was a giant black bear and 3 little bear cubs that walked across the road just like 3 hours ago. So we're in country living.
Yeah, you're out there. You're out there.
How are you doing? You're on the other side of the continent, right?
Yeah. We're in Los Angeles. They just opened up the parks Friday, which kind of allowed people to go outside. You know, we have a 6-year-old, so he's bouncing off the walls with energy. So that's kind of been our life.
I have so much respect for parents who have gone through this quarantine. My sister has 3 kids under the age of 7, 3 boys under the age of 7. She's like, send help. I get like Morse code being like, send help. What did I do?
Yeah. help me.
Exactly. But I think she's happy about it.
Yeah. So tell me, what have you been doing with your time then? Have you been outside a lot? Have you been
outside a lot? Yes, I've been slowing way down. Maybe I can give you a view from outside my home. So right across there's a bunch of land, and I've been starting a little farm. I just decided that I was going to start farming. So we just opened up a big plot of earth out there. My boyfriend used to farm for 4 years, so he knows the drill. So I've been getting down and dirty. We just had a huge pile of, I'm sorry to swear right now, but cow shit delivered to the house, and I just was grinding that in. So I've been living kind of a farmer's life, and I've been in the writer's room for Roswell, which has been really fun and cool.
How amazing.
And anyone who's watching, man, we are talking about some crazy stuff with season 3. And it's really exciting. It's cool to be a part of that and see that side of it. Did you ever go in on the original? Were you ever in the mix?
Jason Katims, our illustrious leader there, he was very, very apprehensive about having actors go into the writer's room. I think he thought we were all going to give him our best 2 cents, which would be his worst 2 cents. But he did eventually let me come in there, and it's such a trip to see that, because whenever we'd walk by the office, he would always go up and cover the
Don't look.
Nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here.
You're not dying this season, I swear.
Yeah, exactly. But can I talk
Who's
to you,
Tess?
Jason?
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh God. But yeah. So I did finally go in there, and it's a trip. It's a real eye opener for how they, how they think so far in advance, and then are also very adept to taking in fan response and going, well, this is working really well, and this kind of isn't.
Yeah, it's crazy how that can happen. I've heard so many stories of people who start out as a little guest role and then wind up becoming big main characters just because of how the people who are watching right now and who are tuned in, like it's so much, the reaction that they have and the response that they have, it definitely dictates where things go, I think,
Yeah.
because people, you want to keep the fans happy.
Yeah. I mean,
Give them what they want.
Aaron Paul was supposed to be killed off in Breaking Bad, like,
Right.
very early on. And that just,
Imagine.
can you imagine what the show would be like?
Boring.
Let's just sit and contemplate that for
My
yeah.
God. It would be so clean. He would have just gone back to teaching. It would have been like
Yeah.
breaking a good, yeah, he's good now.
We never would have reached Ozymandias.
Yeah, exactly. It is funny being an actor in it, because there are definitely moments when they'll talk about Isobel where I'm like, I really have to try to not get, I'm like,
Yeah.
what could be a fun thing for Isobel also is tigers, if she had tigers, or I would say superpowers, but my God, she already does, so that's cool. But that's fun.
Were you able to give any kind of input at all, or try to kind of like, push the needle in a certain direction?
There's something that they've been very generous on. There's on Fridays, they have like Crazy Pitch Friday. So every once in a while, I feel like in general, I try to respect it, because I'm like, these people are professionals, and I come in here like trying not to just, put my opinions in where they're like, that makes no sense. They're playing like a whole other level of a game there. I mean, it's amazing to me because writers are able to interweave so many different plot lines and be making these meaningful connections across a season and drawing things back. So yeah, it's like weaving something. And
Yeah.
I'm just like sitting here with a ball of string being like, I like this color. And they're like, okay, that's nice. But I did give a couple of pitches on Crazy Pitch Fridays. I'd be like, I'm just going to go ahead and give a crazy pitch here. I can't reveal what they are because I feel that it might compromise what season 3 has to do with. But it's definitely going to be juicy and it's fun. Yeah. But I'd love to do some more like that. Yeah.
Would you want to write your own script? Is
I
that
think
something
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I've
think
often
every actor
been
should.
asked if I want to direct, and I'm like, I think I'd want to write more than direct.
Yeah.
Have you directed anything? Did you ever direct any of the episodes? I can't remember.
I never got on to directing that, but it's something I've always wanted to do. And I was going to be directing the next season had we been going for 4.
Wow, yeah. Yeah.
But like writing is something I think every actor should do, at least to try to like get their, their minds and their hearts, their hands into it, just to kind of like experience that, because it's not easy.
No, it's so difficult. And I'm a big collaborator, so I love when I get to work with people, but I have so much respect for writers who go and they sit by themselves and they're off just creating a whole universe
in a vacuum.
Yeah. I'm like, where do you even begin? Like it doesn't even, cannot compute, because I really like to bounce off other people. I think that's but being in the writer's room, it's been really fun to see all of that happening, and you watch it. It's like a tennis match between 12 people, and you're like, damn.
Yeah.
You guys are good.
So Carina had told me a little bit that you kind of liked the books, the original books.
Yeah, I am a science fiction nerd. I liked the books. I loved the show. And it's, I don't know if you remember the first time that we met, and it's a story that I've told since, because everyone always asks me like, what's it like working with Jason? I'm like, I had a really embarrassing moment. Give me one. Yeah, it was a terrible thing. Hold on, just give me 1 second. I'm being summoned. The leash, the dog leash is missing. I think it's in the truck across the street.
Next to
solving problems. Exactly. Just multitasking here. But we were on set and it was a late night, and there was something that I also feel like I can't talk about because I don't know if and when this part's going to happen, but there was something striking about you that was going on. I hadn't met you yet, and I was like so excited that you were going to be on it, because I was like, I was just an enormous fan. But I made such a jerk. I was such a jerk. I was embarrassed. I was so embarrassed myself. And I'm not like a person who gets particularly starstruck or anything, but I like dropped. I was like, oh, sorry. Oh my God. You were just standing there like you'd clearly had to deal with this so many times before. You're like, yes, it's all right. It's me. Yes, I know. It's fine. You're going to be fine. It's like stuffing my pockets with beans and stuff like, okay, I'll see you later. Went home and I was like, oh God. But yes, I was a big fan. The books were a trip. I mean, and they went into some they've got into some weird stuff that I'm
Yeah,
always wondering if we're going to wind up pulling out. Did you read any of those, or did you
I
do anything
did.
like that? You
I
did.
I did. I did. It's been a few years since I've done that. I remember, but they kind of went off in a kind of a trippy way. And I was
Mm-hmm.
curious, especially like, season three, how that's going to look for everyone going forward with the world that we live in now. Like,
I know.
how do you adjust that, or do ideas like that actually have a place in season four of Roswell, New Mexico?
I know. I think
Or
they
three,
do. I
sorry.
mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, and maybe season four too. Who knows?
Oh,
Um, our writers are so contemporary, and one thing that I do love about this group of writers is that they really want to bring in so many topical issues and really address the things. So they're definitely talking about what it looks like, the world that we're going to be coming back into, and if
yeah,
and how that ties into the story. Because certainly, I mean, what I love about science fiction is that you can, like, there are no rules. You
yeah.
can just do whatever. So
Endless possibilities.
yeah, so I'm like, wait, I'm interested to see how that will all pan out. Are you a science fiction fan? Like, did you like that kind of world before you were thrust into it? Or,
I did. I actually, I mean, E.T. was one of the first films that I ever saw, and of course, I was a
right.
big Star Wars fan. But there,
Is
but
that where the iconic,
this thing,
I feel like it's a very, it's a
it
very
was,
ET moment.
yeah, it was written in a way that Jason had Max referencing like where it was, and she didn't really quite get it, and said up north, Canada, whatever,
I love it.
and so we did that, and I don't know if that was one of those days where we were on set, we were in that music hall kind of like most of the day, because there's some other stuff that they had with Colin and other stuff with Nick and Bill Sadler, but we were there for a good part of the day, and the lighting was so exquisite with that. I was so like, when you're in it, and this is the pilot, and I'd worked before, but I really wasn't paying attention to lighting or anything like that. So
Right.
to have all that work out sort of like in this magical way was really special.
I just remember the original. I mean, you guys had the most atmospheric. There was something so beautiful about the way that that series was shot. I mean, yeah, there was this environment that was created. First of all,
Yeah,
that so captured that kind of time too.
yeah,
When I think about that era, it's like the perfect aesthetic. But there was something I remember being like, it affected me deeply. It was like haunting. It had a weight in it that I remember got behind my rib cage somewhere where I'd watch this show, and there was something yeah, haunting and just weighty about
yeah,
whatever. I don't, it maybe it was partially the cinematography and the way it was directed, but also you guys, the cast, and yeah, I think that show, and I wonder, did you have a sense when you were making it that it would have such a kind of impact on people? Were you like, we're making something really amazing, or after the fact, did you watch it and you were like, damn, I didn't
well,
realize.
thank you very much for the very kind words. I mean, I think one of the things that we went in there with was, when I had my first meeting with Jason Katims and with David Nutter. When I first got the script, it was called Roswell High,
Right.
and so I was actually doing Dawson's Creek at the time,
Oh my God.
and they had wanted me to continue on to be, like a series regular on that show, and I
Right.
got the script for Roswell High, and I was like, well, if this is done well, this is pretty amazing,
Yeah.
because all the stuff that you guys do and all the stuff that we did, it's just, there's so much to excavate there, and so much to play with.
Hmm.
If you play the science fiction for real, and it just happens to be a part of your life, like the stakes are that high,
Yeah.
and as you guys do beautifully. But Jason was like, you have to. This has to mean something to you. This has to be real. And so, did we have a sense that it was going to be something special? I think we had an idea,
Right.
but David did a masterful job at directing. He's okay, that guy. Um,
Right.
and then Jason is one of the best writers out there, and then Dave Bartley, John Bartley, who was the cinematographer,
Hmm.
who I still talk to this day, who
Right.
was like, he took a while to set up shots, but it was so worth
Hmm.
it. So everything sort
Yeah.
of kind of came together and worked.
Yeah. I was talking to Kevin Brown, who was one of our
Kevin Cleveland.
producers, and he was telling me we got stranded at an airport together on the way to Upfront the first year. We missed a flight. It was where we were just like stuck in Cincinnati or something together for like 5 hours. It was like 5 hours with Kevin Brown. It could have been
Right.
a mini series
Amazing,
on
amazing.
HBO. It was great, but he was telling me all about the original and just, yeah, the process of getting that together. And he was saying that it was just kind of alchemical, the way all of these things came together and,
Yeah,
yeah, gelled. And you so often I mean, there's so many pilots that are made, there's so few that then get picked up. And then out of that, the ones that really stick and have a lasting impression. But yeah, it must have been incredible to be part of something that wound
yeah,
up having such a big impact in that way.
yeah.
But going back to your involvement in science fiction, because I'm actually interested, you had watched E.T. Was
Hmm.
it something that did you like the sci-fi world or yeah?
I did. I mean, I was, I we went camping a lot when I
Mm,
was a kid. My parents were hippies, and so we moved around a lot. So whenever we had a chance to sleep out under the stars, we would. And so there was be times where we'd, all four boys and the parents would be just, staring up at the stars and trying to call shooting stars and like just thinking about what might be out there. And of course, I thought it was Luke Skywalker and Han Solo all rolled into
right.
one, So
I can't decide. I'll be both.
yeah, I'd be both.
I was Chewie and Jabba the Hutt myself. That's kind of where I'm at.
I highly doubt that. Um, so what else? What else? What else? So in season 3, you guys are in the mix of kind of putting stuff out there right now and kind of spitballing a little bit, as it were.
Yeah, it's interesting because yeah, right now the writers are working away at it, hacking away at it, and it's amazing to watch again the process. So some of the writers are off right now, breaking the first 2 episodes,
Yeah,
but we're starting to see the story arc come together, and it's going to be really powerful. And
I can't wait.
yeah, Carina does a great job at the helm of it. She's definitely she's a powerful woman, and it's cool to work for. I think we're about the same age, and I'm like, wow, you're like killing it, girl. You're doing
Yeah,
really good. You're
yeah.
show running right now.
She
Um,
is she is killing it right now,
yeah.
and much
Well,
deservedly so.
what's that?
And much deservedly so. Like she works
Yeah.
hard for it.
Oh man, she works so hard. I know she works so hard, and then she's also just a great friend and like loves to get people together and just celebrate. So she's also such a yeah, an incredible person to have in your arsenal if you need a favor, you ask Karina because
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
gonna make it happen.
Well,
Well, I just wanted to recall really briefly because my favorite memory of working on set with you this time was when we all went out to karaoke together.
yes.
I had just bought a floor length fur vest
Hmm.
and I lent it to you to go on stage to sing with Michael Vlamis, I think.
Yep. It was
I
a
can't remember what you were singing. Do you remember? I
I
really
was more
can't
of the hype
remember.
man. I wasn't really. I mean, I
You
kind
were,
of got in it a little bit, but I was more of the hype man. I was really trying to make
well,
Flames
like
look really good.
nothing screams hype man like a floor length fur vest.
Nothing.
So
Which is why
it
you're
was,
very lucky you actually found that back in your possession.
I've joked that I haven't touched it since. It's in a museum now. It's my hype man for vest. It's all can only come out for very special occasions. And
Yes.
honestly, I don't know where I'll wear it ever again. I'm like, I bought that and I'm like, what was it? I wonder what I was thinking when I bought a it's faux fur for anyone out there
Yeah.
who's like angry and trying to spray ketchup on their phone. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's fake. But that was an incredible time, and it was so cool having you join us there. I know that all of us probably tried to like play it cool, but we were like so excited to have you there and just to be able to be part of that legacy and to have you and Shiri come back and be part of the project for us is like the coolest thing. And I think it makes us all feel really excited and just good. And so thank you for being so like supportive of the reboot because it can be, contentious.
Well, for me, thank you very much for saying that. And it was also very full circle for us, and it felt very special for us to have 3 years of our lives and 20 years ago. This is something that really had such an impact for us, I think, personally and, you know, creatively. To be able to come back to that world and to play in a different way is really special. It's very full circle, and I don't know that happening too often. I was talking about that with I think with Carina about that. You know, like someone revisiting a character like that. I mean, Paul Newman did it with The Hustler and with Color of Money, but like it's pretty rare that someone gets to come back and even just play in the world, let alone play another character. So
Yeah, I know. It's really cool, the trip. I mean, it is a beautiful thing to be able to come back around, and great having Shiri direct too. I mean,
yeah,
she's amazing, and it's so fun to see her working with Janine and the two Liz's. And you know, when they start wrestling too, and they're like, "I'm Liz, no, I'm Liz," and you have to
right.
break them out because you're like, "Ladies, ladies, it's okay," but you
There's
know,
karaoke.
it's fine. Let's all just go to karaoke. It's fine. Let's
Mm-hmm.
sing it out. Um, no, it's really cool. I mean, it's definitely the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. So I'm really happy to be part of it. And long may Roswell
Long may it rain.
continue in this
Mm-hmm.
universe.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love what you've been doing on the show, and I can't wait to see what you do next year. And
Thank you so much.
maybe we'll see a script with your name on it.
Hey, that would be cool.
Yeah,
I'll have you direct it.
hands down.
Hey,
Only if
okay,
I get to
that's
wear the
good.
vest. Only if I get
You'll
to
wear
wear the
the vest.
vest
It's a
every
hype
day.
man director's vest.
Yeah.
Listen to the man with the fur vest on.
Yeah, you
Cut.
can't not.
Absolutely. Thank you
All
so
right,
much for
sweetheart.
having me. This has been so
Thank you.
fun.
Thank you for
Have a
coming on
wonderful
board.
rest of the time. And everybody who tuned in, thank you too. It's really cool to see all these comments. I'm like, I try not to get lost. I'm
I
like,
know
okay,
I'm trying to like pay attention too, but yeah.
it's amazing.
I think Karina's going to be coming up next, so we'll talk more about that. All right.
Enjoy. Tell
Thank
her
you
I
so
say
much.
hello. Send her my regards, please.
I will. All right.
Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, let's see if I can get off of this thing. Mm-hmm. Let's save it. Make sure I did save it. Oh, it's still live. We're still live. We're still live. Give me one moment, guys. Just let's see here. I think Karina has been here with us for the whole time, or for a little bit of time, I guess. Let's see. Let's see here. Mel Mac, hello. This is kind of a trip for me because I'm not really quite sure how to do any of this stuff. I'm just gonna talk to myself. Let's see here. Maybe. How do I get off this thing? So looking for Miss Carina if she's coming on board. Nope. Let's get on that. Katie is fine. Thank you for asking, Kiana. Oh, there we is. Thanks, Karina. You want to come on in? Let's see. Let's see. I think I got it now. There she is.
I'm early. I saw
How
you were
are
done
you?
with Lily, and I figured I'd take up some more of your time.
Hey, anytime you ask. Anytime you ask. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm like in a weird corner of my. Oop, there goes the phone. I'm in a weird corner of my bedroom in Santa Fe right now because it's like one of those like full-on New Mexico thunderstorms is happening, and my room is the only room in the house that doesn't have like a skylight. So it's the only room that's not super loud right now.
Yeah.
With like rain pouring down on the roof. But
There's
I love the
country song in
thunderstorms
there
in New
somewhere.
Mexico. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I bet. It's one of the most beautiful pieces of land and world that I've been to. The sky is just amazing.
Yeah. You look good. Where'd the beard go?
You know what? I just had to let it go. Let it walk away. Let it roam.
Was it you or was it Katie?
A little bit of both, I suppose. It's hot here. It's really hot here in Los Angeles. And my son was like, no, you must keep it. You must keep it. And I'm like, it's time to let it walk away.
Yeah, well, the extra layer of fur was no longer necessary.
A little bit much, yeah.
I've been in LA this whole time, and I like this weekend just kind of was like, all right, I gotta go pack up my stuff in New Mexico.
Yeah.
And made it like it was pouring. There was thunderstorm on the drive last night, and it was like one of those beautiful ones with like the lightning like slices across the sky, and felt like I could finally breathe again.
You're making me a little homesick for some New Mexico.
Well, come hang out. Just stay 8 feet away from me, but.
Deal.
Man, how's the lives going? I'm looking at all these texts or these comments. So great.
It's kind of difficult to really pay attention to like what Lily was saying and then like read some of the stuff. The only time I got a chance to really look at it was when I was yes, wearing a mask with a beard is tough. But the only time I got a chance to look at it was when I was trying to like figure out either how to end it and save it and then have you come on, or just get you to come on board. So I was just like pressing buttons. I was like this,
Yeah, I think that you can save it afterward. That's the key, is to save it afterward, but it can be very confusing. Sorry, Pacey's yapping away. He's like, wait, is somebody having fun in there? No.
You do realize I'm hiding in my office right now, and Atticus is somewhere out there running around like a madman. And if he hears me and knows that I'm in this room, he will come smashing through that door like the Kool-Aid Man.
It's like that little kid bopping around in the back of her dad's like news broadcast. Have you seen that video?
Yeah.
The cutest thing ever. Yeah.
No, he'll bust through here and start like breaking stuff.
I'm looking at people's questions.
Let's see.
Did you have fun with Lil? I saw a little bit of it. I signed on and you guys were saying nice things about me, and then I was like, I feel like I'm like a voyeur listening to them talk about me.
Well, you should have stayed on it. It got dark real fast.
Good.
Let's see. No, it was. She's wonderful. She's amazing, and I think it's so wonderful that she's in the writers' room to like kind of observe and absorb that kind of stuff.
Well, she's brilliant. Lily went to Princeton. Lily is like, we're so lucky to have her. And when we sign actors on to do a TV show like this, as you know, series regulars get signed on for 6 seasons. And I think, I don't ever want things to get stale for people. I don't ever want people to feel like they're doing the same thing all the time. So, Lily is on a track to write. Heather's on the track. Heather and Trevino are on the track to direct. Amber has all these other opportunities that are coming out. We always want to make sure that people can do, the other stuff that they love, because I don't ever want to feel like people don't want to come to work. So as long as I'm keeping people happy.
Right. Well, she is. She's incredibly intelligent, and the fact that she's such a fan of like the books of the show, to have that sort of like scope or bend to kind of go, oh, well, what about this and what about that?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that she's like she's a Roswell nerd.
Yeah,
her wildest dream came true. You're welcome, Lily Cowles. Somebody's asking if you're in more episodes. Should I tell them which episodes you're in?
I did mention I was in more, but you can say
he's in tonight's episode a lot, like a lot. And then tomorrow, next week's episode 210, and then we have a little break. We're taking Memorial Day Monday off. We're not on, and then Jason's in the finale. One of my favorite scenes in the finale is one of yours.
No, thank you.
I'm so excited for you to see it.
Thank you. It's where I run away, right? It's just the backside of me.
Yeah, he just rides off into the sunset on a stallion.
A white unicorn, right?
Yeah.
That's I'm very excited.
We weren't gonna spoil the unicorn thing.
Press one of these buttons. I'm very excited to see it too, and thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
So what else? Lily was saying you guys are back in the writers' room, and I know you and I had talked about it a little
in the
bit.
room. I mean, it's a Zoom. It's
in the Zoom. But what does that look like for you guys going forward with season 3? Like, I know it's a completely new world.
Well, it's a little scary. We have had a lot of challenges thrown our way. Sort of, there are are rumors floating around about what production is going to look like after this is all done. And nobody's sure. Nobody knows anything for sure yet. But we do know we're going to definitely be delayed a few months, which is a bummer. And then there's like, as we're writing, we're having to consider possibilities of things like you can't pack an interior set full of extras anymore. So what do we do with our bar and our diner sets that are, you know, central pieces of our show? And, you know, now we can't fill them with people. What do we do with that? We are probably going to have to, you know, the answer is like, oh, we'll set more scenes outside, except that if we're delaying production, we're going to be shooting way more in the middle of winter. And then there are other very scary possibilities, like we were asked to consider what might possibly happen if we have to shoot a season with no kissing. How would we do that? Which is, you know, my stomach hit the floor. But, you know, whatever challenges that we're facing as a show, all the other TV shows are going to be facing those same challenges. So, and I think that our audience is going to understand why we're doing this. But, yeah, so fun.
That's crazy. It's like blowing a
I'm
bubble.
like, all right, I figured out a solution to not having tons of extras inside. Cool. And then they're like, also, Max and Liz can't kiss. And I'm like,
not kissing.
Super. Oh man.
Wow.
This is what we do though. We put out, that's what being a producer is putting out fucking fires all day.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We were just talking, Lily and I were just talking about Breaking Bad, and you know, they used to like paint themselves into a corner on purpose.
Yeah.
To like, okay, how can we create?
That's what we do at the end of the season for sure. Yeah. I mean, the end of season 1, it was like, I said at the beginning of season 1, I was like, and then Rosa comes back to life. And at the end of season 1, we aired the finale, and the next day they picked us up, and my first thought was like, oh shit, I gotta figure out what happens next. Like, and that I think that we have a similar conundrum at the end of this season, that, you know, we had to sort of come to the writer's room and be like, all right, how are we getting out of this one? But it's cool because then we're in the same situation as our characters. Our characters are also like, how the fuck do we deal with this? And that's the fun of setting the sci-fi shit in a world that's really our real world, that's meant to be our world. Yeah.
Lily and I were just talking about that as well. Like, you know, because she was asking about the original, and I was also saying with what you guys do as well, it's like it's all real. It's not played as in like this fantastical science fiction thing. It's like, this is the world we live in. This stuff exists, and that's why it has the high stakes that it has.
Yeah, I like to think of it as like Friday Night Lights with aliens. We do we break the Friday Night Lights story first, and then we're like, and then the alien shit comes into it.
That's awesome. Oh man, it's just so good to see your face.
It's really good to see you too. I feel like I've been like a ghost, like putting on makeup in the morning. This morning I was like, okay, there she is. Okay. But I will say it's been funny, like in quarantine, I still like after you know, at the beginning it was like I'm gonna be an adult, so I'm gonna make my bed every day, and I'm gonna put on pants every day because I'm working from home and I'm a grown up. And now I'm like, oh, have I changed this shirt in 4 days?
Right.
I don't know.
It's starting to walk away. Maybe I should.
Yeah, it's okay. But you know, it's funny because right before, this is just like so superficial and dumb, but like right before Christmas, I dyed my hair back to my natural color because remember it was like bright bleach blonde, and I was like, I think I'm ready to be more low maintenance. Thank God, because I feel like I have like a stripe right here.
Well, I will say this: I did read in one of the comments they said you had very beautiful hair. So
that's nice.
There you go.
That's really nice because I finally washed it. Oh, people are asking about the alien shirts. So the alien shirts are all getting printed. They printed out like a bunch for the cast, and then they printed them all out now, and I think they get shipped on Wednesday, I believe. But also we are going to launch on Monday. We are launching a whole new line of merch.
Awesome.
That people can buy if they're interested. We've got some cool hoodies with Rose's graffiti on them, and we've got some Wild Pony branded gear.
That's awesome.
Some like totes and stuff. We've done a really good job raising money for the crew. We're starting to send out checks to people that need them, which makes me very happy and helps me sleep at night. because yeah, New Mexico is just as shut down as everywhere else in the world. So
yeah, and it's such an exceptional crew, an amazing group of people.
I think so too. I think they especially like the 1948 team.
Yeah. Team 47, 48 was
Yeah.
We had a blast with all of that.
It's nice when, like, because you guys shot so much outside in like a barn or in the the field, and those are usually tough nights. They're long nights. If people are grumpy, one grumpy person can just like poison the whole well for everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody wasn't. Everybody was so excited to be there, and like, we had to shoot the same scene over and over to reveal different things different times. We had how old is Major? Like 7? We had a 7-year-old on set, just killing it, just showing everybody how it's done.
Yeah.
Cass had to lie in the mud for like
God.
like all night. One night we had Cass just lying in the mud. And she was a trooper. I kept feeling bad. Cass is one of my best friends. Aisha's one of my best friends. And I'm like, okay, guys, Kayla's my family. And I was like, cool, guys, so I'm just going to throw you into the trenches. Like, while everyone else is sipping milkshakes at the crash down, please lie in this mud at the end of November in the
20 degrees. Yeah. I know that newborn you have back in the trailer, you'll probably see her tomorrow or maybe next couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's the whole, like, everybody in that whole 47 crew was like, everyone was just so wonderful. And it was that light and that buoyancy that just kept everybody afloat.
I loved it. It was really fun. And I think that you guys set a good tone. I know that the storylines were important to you guys. Like, you didn't just come in to like make a cameo and make a splash and like get back in the spotlight. You wanted to tell a good story. So
yeah, no, I think it had a lot of relevance to everybody. Everybody felt very, very empowered by it and felt like they had to pull their weight around in that. And when I see some of the stuff in there, it feels like from a different era. It feels like it's very, very filmic and very noirish and it just has a different tone to it, the whole thing.
I don't want to give too much away, but that shot that we did out at sunset for the finale with the car and all that, it's like just being transported. It's amazing.
It feels like it feels like a totally different time.
They're asking, will we see flashbacks of the time between 1947 and 2008? Should we tell them where we're going tonight?
Oh my god. Wait, no, we'll just let them tune in tonight.
We shouldn't tell them? We've got a little taste of 1987 at the crash down. Back to the Future is my favorite movie, and one of the things that I loved about it was how you saw how one location would evolve over time. And so tonight we will go to the Atomic Cafe, which is what the crash down was called before the crash in 1947, and then we will see the Crashdown Cafe in 1987, and then we will spend a little time in the Crashdown Cafe in present day. What's that beep? Is that me?
No, my car can't do that.
What's happening? I'm hearing beeping. I can't hear you. I'm trying to see what people are saying. Hold on.
Beeping, huh? You only heard Carina? Oh, so you didn't hear me, you heard Carina. Well, then good. I didn't. Just heard beeping too. Let's see if I can get Carina back in here. I am not available right now to hear my own voice. Can we hear you now?
I can hear you, and now the beeping's gone. It was like there was some kind of like other interference coming in.
That's so bizarre. It was like out of a movie.
Backing up.
Just as you started to say, tonight at the Crash Town, it just shut off, and it was just you without sound talking. It's like, oh no.
Oh, weird. Oh, I'm sorry.
So you're all good now.
Well, I that was the one chance to give away the secrets. So No, tonight we spent time at the Crash Down in all the different eras, and then we also visit another sort of roadside diner. I was inspired by this Ani DeFranco song called "The Diner," and I came into the writers' room one day and I was like, I've got this crazy idea for an episode that's told kind of out of order in a weird, non-linear way, and every single storyline in one way or another centers around a diner. The idea being that in these little towns that sort of become towns that people pass through on their way to somewhere else, somebody's always stopping at a diner. So it's cool.
Awesome. I can't wait to see it tonight.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm so proud of Aisha. I mean, we were just talking the other night about how, like, you know, when you hire your best friend to do something, sometimes people are like, oh, here goes Carina. Like, you know, her Coachella buddies coming to direct an episode. And so I think that Aisha felt like coming in, like she had a little bit to prove, like, no, I deserve to be here. And she did a killer job. We're so proud of her. I mean, she's directed a ton of like short films and episodes of Criminal Minds, but I think this was the first thing that she was like coming in as a guest. And I loved watching her work with actors. There's a lot of scenes. There's a lot of scenes in this episode that are just two people talking with no spectacle and no crutches to lean on, just two people talking, and she really done.
Yeah, she knocked this one out of the park. She was very, it was just such a collaborative, creative process with her. We talked about art, we talked about music, we talked about all sorts of things, and somehow all filtered into
cool as fuck.
The whole thing. Yeah.
So cool. It says, where do you think Max, Liz, and the others will be by now? Will they be with their parents? I'm wondering if that's like, where would they be in quarantine? I think that Liz right now would be on like the COVID task force. She's a biomedical engineer. She's after solving this shit. So I think Liz would be working on the task force. I think Max would have. No, Max doesn't need to lock down. Max can't get sick with human illnesses. So Max is out not only doing all the deliveries for the Wild Pony, but also probably back on the police force because he can't get sick. That's the answer to that question. Aliens can't get human viruses, so like they're just driving Ubers right now.
Intergalactic Uber.
It's asking you, how did you feel being back on set? I was curious, like, were you? Because we didn't reach out to you until season 2. Because I didn't want to reach out to anybody until I had a good part for you guys. But did you hesitate at all? Were you like, I don't know?
Not at all. You sent out that really wonderful email and kind of like,
you had the hard sell.
you gave me all this information about what was in it, and it felt so apropos and felt just so right. And no, I didn't hesitate for a second, not for a second. And I'm so glad I did. I had so much fun, and I'm looking forward to hearing what people think about tonight's episode and the rest of the stuff. But I had a blast.
It was wild for me. There was a day, one of your first days that you got here, or maybe the actual first day that you got here, I was driving back from Bonanza Creek to our production stages, and I got a text from my assistant that just said, hey, Jason and Sherry are waiting at the picnic tables outside for you. And I was just like, what is my life? How? Like, how did I get here? What's happening? And I just wanted to like go back in time and like knock on 12-year-old Karina's door and be like, guess what's gonna happen to you when you grow up?
That's so cool. Well, Lily's back. Hey, Lily.
And we had really good chats. You and I had some like long, deep convos about Trip and who he is and what he represents.
Yeah.
Any other cameos in the works? Not right now because we don't have. Oh, Lily's back. Hi, Lil. Not right now because we don't have a production schedule yet, so we can't really reach out to people and say, "Are you available for this time and that time?" Because we don't know what's happening. But I'm trying not to do like cameos. I'm trying to if we're gonna have people from the original show come in, I want it to be like a meaningful thing, even if it's just one episode. I don't want it to be like. And then there's Sherry Appleby playing the gas station attendant.
Right.
Right. I want it to. I have so much respect for everybody. I want everybody to be able to sink their teeth into things. But I know Weschler. I think I could convince Weschler to come visit us. And then Brandon lives nearby, so
yeah.
So
That'd be
I think
easy
it's a
for
make
him.
myself.
I think you can make the salad. Wexler, we were talking about this earlier. He's one of the funniest people that I know. He is hilarious, and he also no pressure, Nick.
And he's like
But
he's a little bit handsome.
he's just a little bit handsome, and he, you know, we did a Zoom the other day, and I was like, "What are you lifting in quarantine?" Like he's like, "Sun's out, guns out." I'm like,
rude.
Yeah.
I'm doing nothing. People keep being like, "What are you doing for exercise?" And I'm like, "I cry so much. I burn so many calories." I'm sick of this.
But yeah, so Nick is funny, and he's also, we were talking earlier. He's one of those guys who is so. He's from a human observation point of view, he is so on it to like go, oh, this is this, oh, that person must be feeling that. He's very empathetic. It's
yeah, I was telling you on the phone last night, Nick is somebody who, like, when he asks you a question he's having a conversation, like, he really cares. Yeah. He's not like just trying to, like, he's never got his eye on the door to see if somebody cooler is about to walk in. He's like in the conversation to be in the conversation. And I, you know, sometimes Hollywood parties and shit, it's people always have an eye on the door to see if someone cooler is about to walk in. And it's nice just to meet somebody who's not like that at all.
The thing about Nick is that he knows he's the coolest person in the room, so he doesn't have to worry about anybody else coming in.
Yeah, I know. That's true. That must be nice. It must be nice.
Tough life, Nick. No, we definitely we love us some Nick.
Yeah, and it's been fun. I think it's been cool playing with the character of Kyle too, because Trevino is also somebody who's so special, and just like, ooh, somebody has a Roswell tattoo. I bet that's an OG Roswell tattoo. I feel like we haven't been on the air. Roswell, New Mexico has not been on the air long enough to earn a tattoo.
Yeah, it might. I have to look. Yeah,
we talked about it. When we were doing the pilot, Janine was like, we were all having so much fun, and we were just like so in love with each other, and just like, this is it, this is our family. And Janine was like, we should all just get alien tattoos. And I was like, whoa, pump the brakes, hold on, this could go horribly wrong. We didn't even know if we were picked up yet. Like, I was like, this could be a terrible experience. We don't know.
Right.
Season 6, if we still like each other, we'll all go get tattoos.
Right. Lord of the Rings, they were there for, I think, 3 or 4 years when they got their tattoos.
Yeah.
So, when we were shooting the original, there was a few people who would come up and want to show their tattoos.
That's cool. Like handprints or?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep, handprints. Mark of the Bear is what they called it.
Yeah. That's so cool.
But I mean, it was like, you know, it's that it takes a lot for something that means that much to you that you put that on your body, you know, as a you know, to represent, to reflect what, you know, what it is that you're feeling. So yeah, I
mean, my tattoos are just like whatever, I picked it off the wall, but sure, I guess some people get meaningful things.
You'll be surprised though. I think that, you know, I mean, depending. I know Nathan has that tattoo, you know, on his back.
Yeah.
Max will.
Yeah. Now Michael has it too.
Oh, that's right.
Just marking him up. Nathan, we have to cover some of his tattoos, so it's really funny because, like, whenever he has to be shirtless, not only does he have to sit through tattoo coverage of the ones that I didn't feel like were like totally in character for Max, but he also then has to get one added on. I'm his favorite person for all of that. Trust me. He's like, are you sure Max wouldn't have this tattoo? And I'm like, I'm sure Max wouldn't have this tattoo. And he's like, I think Max would have this tattoo.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think you want an extra hour of sleep in the morning. And if you're an actor, maybe don't get tattoos. We let him keep some of them. Yeah. When is Isobel going to get the tattoo? I don't know. Oh my gosh. I love that it's called Mark of the Bear.
Mark of the Bear, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's funny about that too, because someone just asked, Christy Akua, she asked if I have any tattoos, and I do. I have a tattoo. When all my brothers have tattoos, and I thought I was going to go my whole life without getting one, and then I went to Japan, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting a tattoo here, and so I spent like the 3 months that I was there actually like designing and doing research to figure out what I wanted. And what it is, it's 3 different kanji stories on my back, but there's 5 lines. So it's like, because, you know, all these other, like, you know, the big cats have just 4 claws, you know, the dew claws up here, and so the bear has actually like their scratch mark is 5. So I did that in my back.
That's awesome.
So I guess I have my own.
I'm a little bit of an addict. I keep getting like, it looks like I've been doodled on all over my body basically.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But I'm not an actor, so it doesn't mean, you know, I don't have to cover it up in the morning, which is good.
That's literally the only thing that has stopped me, because I like, you know, every time I go and like have an experience, I'm like, oh, I should probably get a tattoo. No, that's another 30 minutes or 40 minutes or an hour in the tattoo in the makeup chair. So
Yeah, it is. And it's, you know, that's time you could be sleeping. People, it's precious.
Yeah.
I'm looking for, would Jason and Sherry ever work together on screen in a movie? I mean, you hate each other so much, you and
Can't
Sherry.
stand it. Can't stand it. Will never happen. You know, it's funny about that, because like Sherry and I, our kids play together. You know, we've been hanging out for a bit now, and we're always asked like, what would you guys want to work on? And it just feels like it has to be something really good.
Yeah,
You know?
and different. I don't like
different.
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
But yeah, absolutely.
How long have you guys met? Jason and I met at Julie's Plex birthday party 2 years ago. Like, Julie's birthday's coming up in a couple weeks, so like about 2 years ago was our anniversary, Jason.
Yeah.
And that was when we had shot the pilot, but we hadn't. We'd just gotten picked up, and we didn't like. I was very nervous. I was very excited to meet you, but I was like not sure if you were going to be like, what are you fucking with my show for? But you were so nice, and it was funny because at that birthday party, the thing that I remember the most about it is it was like the Roswell kids, who are all kind of like they're all my age. Everybody's like, you know, 30-ish, 30-something-ish, and has been working for a long time. And then so it was us hanging out with all the Vampire Diaries cast members. And then we were hanging out in literal bleachers because the party was prom themed, was like Sweet 16 themed.
Yep.
And so there were literal bleachers, and we're all hanging out at the bleachers, and everybody's like smoking and talking about like how jaded we are and you know how you know, Hollywood bullshit. And then we look over on the dance floor, and all the kids from Legacies are like partying, having the best time. And we were like, oh my God, we're the seniors and they're the freshmen. I have no idea what's coming for them. And we have all these Polaroids from that night. And then I think, I didn't see you for a while, but at Julie's birthday party, her next birthday party was when I was like, so would you maybe want to come and do my TV show? And then
that was awesome. I think I think we all kind of went home at around like 5 or something like that in the morning. It was a pretty.
I remember it was because it was Julie's birthday combined with Candace's birthday combined with a bunch. It was like a big thing, and there was a zillion cakes. And I just remember we were leaving at like 4 a.m, and I was just like taking one piece of each cake and putting it on a piece of paper, like on a paper plate with foil.
Right.
And I woke up in the morning, and I went to my fridge to get water, and I looked and I just saw this plate covered in different kinds of cake, and I was like, that's what I did in front of OG Matt Evans, was just be like, hold on, I'm just gonna collect some things. Just hold on. There was like a wine shortage in Los Angeles after that night.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was actually, I think at that point I was drinking tequila.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I was drinking whatever I saw.
Yeah, right.
That's what this time of year is for, though. It's not for being locked in a house working. This is the time of year when I usually get to be like, okay, I'm relaxing, I'm spending time with my friends, I'm like being a human being again. Having a drink or two, because I'm like, during the year when we're in production, with the exception of a few Tiny's nights, I'm like pretty hardcore. I go to bed early, work my ass off.
You are pretty. You go to bed late and you get up early is what you normally do.
People are always like, let's go get a drink after work, and I'm like, oh, that's funny. I have to go home and write a whole script tonight. I'll see you at 7:30 a.m.
Yeah. That's me and Lily were just talking about that. You work your ass off, and you know, you've gotten where you've gotten, not just because you're extraordinarily talented, but because you work really hard, and there's nothing but respect for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But again, I work really hard because usually during the months of April and May, I'm like passed out on a field at Coachella. So,
which you threatened to drag me to this year, and I was like,
I will do it someday. I think this year, because of all this garbage, just shouldn't count toward getting a year older. Like, this year does not count toward me getting too old for Coachella.
That's a great idea. In fact, it's like this coronavirus. This is like the Corona year. It just doesn't. It's like a leap year of some kind.
No. I need a refund on this year, and I would like
Right.
to to a redo for sure. Because screw this, it's not fun. It's not fun at all.
I'm game. I actually, I'm sure that you and the rest of the cast have been asked all these questions, like so many questions. But one of the things that I thought was like not even regarding like Roswell, New Mexico, was what is the first thing you're going to do when you're done with this quarantine?
My like sentimental answer is that I'm gonna go see my mom. I really miss my mom. We work so hard all season, and I don't get to see my family that much. And this is usually the time of year when I do get to spend, a week. And I go to New York every year for upfronts for a week.
Yeah.
My mom lives in New York, and so I usually see her and spend like real quality time with her in springtime in New York. And so I really am missing my mom right now. That's a sentimental answer. The less sentimental answer is that I'm gonna get a piercing. Because there's one that I want, and I was gonna get it, and then I couldn't, and I'm like, it's weird. I'm like, I really want this thing.
Yeah. I probably would have gotten my second tattoo.
I don't know when I'm going to feel safe about doing that again, but as soon as I do,
right,
that's happening. Yes, everybody's like, do I hear your dog? Yeah, my dog is sitting outside of my bedroom door right now whining. He's I'll show you. I'll show you, Pacey. I'm just trying to avoid everybody seeing the mess in my room, but Hey, bud. You want to say hi? Okay, come here. I got you. This is Pacey.
Hey, buddy.
He's named after Pacey from Dawson's Creek. But he has a very bad attitude. I think he bit you. Didn't he bite you when you were over?
I don't remember.
Yeah. Little nip. Yeah, he's very protective.
No, I just remember being at your house, and like Aisha was like, he bit Jason, and like she let me go get some like stuff to like clean off my wound, and I was like, I just went down to pet him.
So he doesn't have top teeth. So what he actually can do is scratch you. He can't really bite you because he doesn't. He had like a tumor on his mouth. He had to take out all of his top teeth. But he's an asshole. People ask me what he is, and I'm like, he's a demon and a squirrel. I don't know, but I love him very, very much.
I was going with it was either a love bite.
He's an asshole, but I love him. I'm sorry.
I thought that it was either a love bite or he was just being a little protective of you.
He's very protective, and for some reason he's pretty chill during the day, but when people come over at night, he's like, "No, this is bedtime."
Yeah. Go home.
Yeah. He's smart. He's a smart dog.
I have a couple other questions for you because like I said, I thought you guys might have so many like questions and been answered for the fans. I know you know who James Lipton is and Bernard Pivot and all that.
Oh God.
Has anybody ever asked you those questions?
No.
Okay, so one of the questions is, and I won't go through all of them right now. But
no, you can't. I mean, whatever you want.
What is your favorite word?
My favorite word is wanderlust.
Great word.
It's a good one. It's exactly what it says it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what is your least favorite word?
Honey. Oh, there's
got to be a story behind that.
Yeah, I mean, I worked with a guy who was constantly calling me honey, and it's like literally like anytime I hear the word now, I get like this like in this like condescending like, okay, sweetheart, you're 12 years old, you don't know what you're talking about kind of way.
Right.
Don't like it. You get a little bit like a little bit of Hollywood. There was a really long time when Hollywood was run by old white dudes, and so sometimes I come in and I'm like enthusiastic and silly, and I take the work very seriously, but I don't take myself very seriously, and so sometimes people talk down to me, and that's the one that will make me be like, excuse me, I'm your boss, sit down.
Right. All right, so what's the other one I want to ask you? So I'll give you a couple more here before I have to find out how to save this thing a little bit here. What is the sound or noise that you love?
Rain.
Mm-hmm. It's a great one. What is the sound or noise that you don't like?
The noise that my phone makes when I have a voicemail. Just text me.
That's hilarious.
Michael Trevino is the worst. Michael Trevino will leave me a 2.5-minute voicemail, and I'm like, I hope you're bleeding.
I already know the answer to this one, but I'll ask it anyways because I'm not sure if anybody has asked you this. Maybe they have. The profession that you would like to attempt if you weren't a writer for TV or movies.
If I wasn't a TV writer, I think my easy answer is I would write something else because I really do love writing. I always say that if money wasn't an object, I would like go live in a cabin and write books and write poems. I studied poetry in college and like really had this idea that like I could just grow up and be a poet. And then I like remembered that like rent is a thing. But
there is the starving artist.
Yeah, but I have been able to translate some of that into Roswell and into what I do. So, we have in the finale, I wrote a song, and the song has lines in it from a poem that I wrote while we were working on the pilot. So I get to do a little bit. But if I was going to do something that like really outside of what I do now, if writer was off the table, I think I would make a really good lawyer. I think I usually win an argument. It's hard to bullshit me. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. I agree with that. And I was gonna say, like, you've read me and you've shared your poetry with me. I think that it's so beautiful.
It's so embarrassing that I'm like, listen, Jason, I know you have things to do, but can I just read you my poems? This is like late night after Tiny's karaoke bar.
That's what one does after karaoke.
Let me read you what I thought about my ex-boyfriend.
It was beautiful, and I hope that someday you actually like put a book of poetry out there.
I hope so too. I've had a couple opportunities. It's just a little bit hard. I am having a hard time putting together something that feels good but isn't too personal. I'm okay with sharing my personal business, but I don't want to share other people's personal business, like friends and ex-boyfriends and family members and stuff. So like, and I write in detail. Like I don't want to be Taylor Swift and have people being like, "Who's this one about?" So I'm trying to figure out how to do that without exposing my entire world to the internet. But I'm working on it.
Yeah, I think you should.
Can you make Rosa a Spotify playlist? I will make Rosa a Spotify playlist. I have a 90s playlist. That's basically my Rosa playlist. These little messages. Hi, Dougals. You're so nice. Thank you for buying a shirt. Some of the people I just like that pop up on these, it's like I've seen them in my comments forever. And it feels like old friends. I'm trying to think of what questions I want to ask you. Your lack of a beard just threw me off, honestly. I had so many beard questions.
What questions you can ask about facial hair?
So many.
I did do that thing though with Atticus where I first took off. I had like a handlebar at first, and then he was like laughing at me, and then I just did like the little pencil stash and the lamb chops.
My friend showed me like this basically was like a diagram of all the different facial hair that is safe to have while wearing a mask, because some of it like it breaks the seal. And one of the things that was safe to have during the mask was the walrus mustache. And I was like, that's the move, bud. That's what you got to do.
I may have a picture to share with you later.
Anytime to have a walrus mustache, it's now.
Save yourself the embarrassment of anybody actually seeing it, but
Yeah. Just whoever is unlucky enough to be quarantined with you while you have your walrus mustache, but like have your moment.
Awesome.
Oh man, what's up with Rose's power? Man, I don't want to tell too many secrets. Everybody's awesome. I could rewrite episodes of the original show. What would they be? The original show, the one that always sticks out to me, is the heat wave episode. I feel like I like when I watched it as a kid, I just thought it was the sexiest thing that I'd ever seen in my entire life. And
that was the Max and Liz first kiss.
Yeah.
It was the very, very end of the episode they did that.
Yeah, I know.
Like everybody got
once
together.
the heat wave was kind of passed, it was like that's how you knew it was real love. The heat wave had passed. And they still wanted to make out.
They still wanted to be together. Yeah. Make out in the eraser closet. Eraser room.
We dropped a few eraser room mentions in this season. I think we had to cut the line, but Maria and Alex were in a band together when they were in high school, and they were called the Eraser Room Riot.
And you cut it out?
I think we had to cut the line for time. We lose so many jokes for time. It's very annoying.
Yeah, but you do get a lot of good things in there. I know that you were,
I try. I'm not the comedy person. Some of the jokes are mine. Most of them are Eva's. Because Eva and Deirdre are our writers who, when I'm like, oh man, I'm not in a funny mood because I've been up all night for 3 nights trying to write this thing, I'll be like, can you get some jokes in here, please? Can you make Isobel funny? And also Lily. Lily has gotten more lines into the show than any other actor by far. She'll come to me and be like, all right, this joke is fine, but what if I said this instead? And I'm like, yeah, that's way better.
See? Get in that writing room.
Did you have to cut any whole scenes for time this season? We did. And a lot of them we cut 2 scenes from 203. We cut no full scenes from tonight's episode. We cut a scene from next week's episode that was kind of a bummer because I shared a photo of that scene and people got excited and now it's not in there. But I'm trying to figure out a way to get them to release the deleted scenes for you guys because they don't really do them on DVDs anymore, which is weird to me. Like there's no special features on our DVDs. So I'm kind of like, well, could I just post it if it's not going to go anywhere? Technically, it doesn't belong to me. It's Warner Brothers, but I want everybody to see everything because I'm really proud of all the work. And when something gets cut, it bums me out. But I miss DVDs with like director's commentary and like all the deleted scenes and like bloopers. We cut together our own blooper reel this year and I just tweeted it. I think I got a little cover for it, but whoopsies.
I think I might be in a couple of those this year. I'm not sure. There's a couple.
Yeah, you will. For sure.
Oh man, someone just sent the whole thing about being on Instagram is they send you these things like that they posts with you attached to it, and they sent out a version of the blooper reel, and I reposted it, and it was this one time when me and Brendan were out, and it was. I had this phone up to my head, and Brendan was supposed to kind of grab me and pull me back so I wasn't seen. And he pulled me right back into a lamp, and I just crowned myself. And I thought I was going to drop, but like seeing stuff like that it's fun to relive, but it's also like when I see other people's blooper reels, I'm like, that makes me laugh.
We had this moment last or season 1 at the very end, where Liz is in Max's house. She can't find him. She thinks he's dead. There's this pool of blood on the floor. And then she looks out to the field and she sees him far away and she goes running for him. And the first couple times we shot it, Janine kind of like went around the blood. And I was like, no, it wasn't me. I think it was Eva. Eva was like, do you think she'd really even be thinking about the blood? Like, it feels like, oh, he's alive. Just run right for him and like run over the dried blood. And we were like, yeah. And Janine was like, you're right. I'll just run over the blood. And as soon as it's not dry. It's completely slick and wet, and she just, bam, hits the ground. And thank God she was okay, and she laughed it off. But it was literally like, we felt so bad because we were like, yeah, she just run through it. We didn't ask anybody. We forgot to be like, hey, is it dry?
Run through that oil slick. I actually saw that. Yeah. It was like, wardrobe and medic, please.
Yeah. The funny thing is like, Janine is the most agile person. I'll always be like, oh shit, you can't run in those heels. And she's like, watch me. Yeah. And Nathan is the person who always falls down. Like every time we have to have him run in a scene, I'm like, oh god, here we go. Is he gonna make it? And he usually doesn't. But it was like this one time where we're like, actually just run, and she just eats it. It felt so bad. But it makes for a good blooper reel. People falling down is a lot better than people fucking up their lines for a blooper reel.
So much much more
Take
fun.
one for the team.
Right. A little Schadenfreude.
Yeah. All right. I kind of have to go because I have to jump back into the writer's room. I keep talking to you. I keep looking at your face.
Right back at you. right back at you. When this is all over, you and me are gonna go grab a nice drink and.
I cannot wait for this to all be over and for us to be like, remember when we could only talk on Instagram Live?
All right, my sweet friend. Thank you so much for doing this.
All right, love you. When you end this thing, when you hit the X, make sure that you click save. A little thing will come up.
I hit the X, which I see it. I got it.
Like when you X out of it eventually, because I assume you aren't going to be live on Instagram for the rest of your life.
I think Nick Wexler might be coming in here soon.
Yes. Oh man, so to make sure to save that so I can watch
it.
All right, send him my love. He's
I will.
my favorite of all of you.
All right.
Just kidding. Bye.
Okay, that is that. Let's see if Nick is going to come in here. We'll see what happens. I need to try to save this, and golly, do I need help. Let's see what this thing is. And Nick, yeah, 2:45 sounds great. Oh, here, there, I see him. I'm going to activate you, Nick Wexler. And then we will hopefully be able to get this out of the way. Not do that. I can't see anybody right now. All right, let's see. Oh, Nick. Bear with me, folks. I'm just trying to make sure I got Nick, because I'm actually taking over this thing. I have none of my other people in here. So I just want to say thank you guys for being patient, and also thank you for everyone who joined in. That was really, really awesome. Where's my Nick Wexler? All right. I can do this. I know I can. I know I can do this. Give me space to do this. I'm official Nick Wexler. That's your jam. All right. This is so awesome that I'm able to just spend so much time doing this. Because I normally have him in mind. You'd think that this would actually So let me do this, folks. I'm gonna have to take somebody else here. Let's see. No, I'm just kidding. I'll get you. I'll get you here real quick. Let's do this. Hold on, Nick. If Nick can request, this would be awesome, but I'm not seeing him. Let's see. I will be doing more questions when I get a chance. That was amazing with Carina. All right, Nick. It's not finding you, so. It's such a long thing, Nick Wexler. What is this? Nick Wexler, I am officially Nick Wexler. You had to do all that? This is just you mocking. No, actually, it's not finding you at all. All right, I'm going to try to, let me just save this and I'll get Nick up.